What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back for another episode of our Formula 1 22 My Team Career Mode. This is the second race of the season here, season 3, and we are in Jeddah, and hopefully it goes a lot better than the last time we were at Jeddah. Temperature, so I'm trying to take... No, Jeff! I mean, Mark! No! Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh! It's the first race of the season! We're 4 laps into the race! Oh my gosh! No! What? In my opinion, this is where everything went wrong last season. It was the opening race as well. We had the double DNF and we just never really recovered from that until the very back end of the season, but at that point it was too late and we missed out on a drivers championship for myself and Sebastian Vettel. But we have higher hopes coming into this race as Sebastian Vettel is leading the drivers championship after one race. We took P2, so we are right behind him, and with a race win here and the fastest lap, we can take the lead of this drivers championship. So we are going to try and do that here. The difficulty is up to 100, so I'm expecting that the AI will be a little bit quicker this time around. At the end of Q1, we are in P13. I only put up one flyer this time, so that is a great sign, because last race we had a very nervous qualifying, I guess, and we had to put up 2 hot laps in Q1, which I usually do not do, so a little bit scary. But it's nice that in this qualifying we only have to put up 1 into Q2. I put up the first lap and we're in P2, but I have enough gas in the tank and enough battery to go out and do another flyer. Sebastian Vettel currently leading the session, and then Sergio Perez in P3, Carlos Sainz in P4, Oscar Piastri with a surprising session thus far. I'm not sure if Charles Leclerc has put up his lap yet, but at the moment he is ahead of Charles Leclerc. We are 5/100ths up on that previous lap that we just did with a purple Sector 1, and I'm hoping that the race pace is good as well. I know that in most cases my race pace is a little bit better than my qualifying pace. Starting on pole here will be a great help, especially going into turn 1. It allows us to go wide on turn 1 and then get the apex into turn 2. We don't want to get squeezed into the corner, because pole position, you're going to start on the right side of the track. We finish Q2 in a P3. Max Verstappen taking a surprising lead in this session by 2.5 tenths over Sebastian Vettel, 2.8 tenths over my own lap time. Max Verstappen is definitely going to be trying to bounce back after his DNF in Bahrain. He had a mechanical failure, engine blowed out. It was pretty early in the race, but nonetheless he remains scoreless, and he will be hoping to score some points here to get back into the championship fight, because as we saw with Sebastian Vettel last season, being scoreless in the first 2 races, 3 races for Sebastian Vettel in the season, is really going to set you on the back foot for the rest of the championship run. But into this Q3, we put up our first flyer, and it was our better lap time. It was a 1:25.9. This was just a absolutely solid lap in my opinion. Lando Norris currently leading the session. We got a green sector 1, green sector 2. I don't know why it says green, because later on it will say that we purpled those 2 sectors. Max Verstappen now with a 1:26.6. We are going to cross the line here, and it's going to be a 1:25.9, so 7 tenths better than Max Verstappen. So you can see there it says we purpled sector 1 and sector 2. I don't know why it said we greened them. Sebastian Vettel second in the session, and then we go out for our next flyer, and in my opinion the first lap was a little bit better, or it felt better. We just managed to do a lot better in sector 3, and we finished 5/100ths or 4/100ths on the previous lap, and this is going to be good enough for pole position here, so we will get that advantage starting on the outside going into turn 1, which should give us a solid leeway to lead after turn 2. But we got Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen starting in P3 and P4.
Turn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tires as well, please.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the second race of the season in Jeddah. We have gotten our first pole position on the season, and it was a close one, I would say. Maybe not Q3, But we lost out on the second spot to Sebastian Vettel in Q2 by like 3/1000ths of a second, and then we just put up a monster lap on our first out lap in Q3. We couldn't even beat it on our second attempt. But we are starting on pole with Sebastian Vettel right behind us, and we are looking for redemption here because of what happened last season. I'm sure I might have put a flashback up at the start of this video, but we got Perez and Verstappen starting in P3 and P4, so it looks like again we'll be running for the Constructors' Championship with Red Bull. We will be competing with them for that championship. Charles Leclerc has a pretty decent qualifying as well. He's starting in P5. His teammate, Oscar Piastri, he does okay. He's down in, I believe, P8 or P9. And then Mercedes doesn't have a great qualifying. George Russell in P7, I believe. And then Lewis Hamilton just qualifies outside the point, so he'll be starting in P11. You guys can see it all up on the grid cam, but we're looking also to get our first race win here, and hopefully we can take the lead of this drivers championship. We will have to outduel our own teammate Sebastian Vettel because he did win the race last time around, and he did also get the fastest lap, so he's got 26 points, we got 18 with our P2 in Bahrain. So we will need to win the race and get the fastest lap if we want to tie him. And then the rest depends on how Sebastian Vettel does. Right, here we go for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We got 5 red lights, and this race is underway. Wow, the lights went out kind of quick there. But we get off the line very well. Whoever left that comment saying to use the ERS once I hit gear 3 or 4. Thank you for that tip, because we now have the lead. Going into turns 1 and 2, I think we had a little bit of contact with Sebastian Vettel. Sergio Perez overtakes Sebastian Vettel. So although I do want to lead the Drivers' Championship, it is important as well that Sebastian Vettel does finish high. So I would rather him, you know, come in P2, maybe. I don't know, I'm a little bit torn. But we are leading into lap 1. We got an 8/10 lead right now. We're just getting these tires kind of settled in. Then we can start pushing a little bit, try and create a gap between Sebastian Vettel, who actually retakes the spot from Sergio Perez. Sebastian Vettel might get a look down the inside here on the final corner on this opening lap. I'm looking forward to the battles that we may have this season. We just got to keep it clean and respectful as always. I don't think we've gotten into any incidents with Sebastian Vettel. Maybe in the finale we had a little bit of contact, but I don't think anyone caused damage. Put out the fastest lap on this opening lap of the race. Sebastian Vettel is going to have DRS here once again, and there's not too much I can do. I'm going to try and go around the outside of turn 1. Gotta leave him the space, obviously. And we are wheel-to-wheel through turns 1 and 2. Still side by side, and we are just a little bit in front, but he's coming back at us down into turn 4. Ooh, I might have squeezed him there. I did not mean to do that. But he's still 0.3 of a second back. And Sergio Perez has caught up with us, so he's 0.5 behind Sebastian Vettel. Oh, crap. Is Sebastian Vettel going for the move here? Going wheel-to-wheel once again. Took a little parabolica. Trying to leave him all the space that I can, and he falls behind. 3/10 still. And we really just cannot shake Sebastian Vettel. That DRS is allowing him to keep up. He's going to launch it down the inside of the final quarter, going on to lap 5. But we still stay out in front, and we got DRS off of that, so I completely forgot about that. We might try and play a little bit of some DRS games with Sebastian Vettel, so we can get the DRS down the main straight, give us a little bit of an advantage, because Sector 1, we tend to gap him a little bit, and then once the DRS comes in, he closes that gap. So having DRS on that main straight will definitely help us keep the lead, but he would have to close the gap in the last sector if we want to play any DRS games with him, and if you can't do that, that kind of just helps us even more. Oh crap, so Sergio Perez manages to overtake Sebastian Vettel down into turn 1. And because of that squabbling that they have been doing, we're now 1.7 seconds ahead of those two drivers. So we got a pretty nice cushion at the moment in terms of a lead on the other drivers. We just got to keep this pace up. We're putting up pretty decent lap times. We're still holding the fastest lap. I think before I go into pit, I'm going to try and top that by using a chunk of the battery. Also help create a gap, because I want to create a pretty decent gap before I go into pit, because I know my outlaps, especially on a track like this, is going to be horrible. And that will allow Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel to catch up. So the bigger of a gap that we go into the pits with, the better. So we're going to try right here. Try and go for this fastest lap. 1.8 seconds ahead of Sebastian Vettel. That lead seems to be increasing as we progress through this race.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.9 seconds.
We've got purple sector 1. And that lead is now 3 seconds through one sector. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is great. I'm liking this right now. I like to call myself the king of Jeddah, but I've got to win the race to prove it, because I don't think I've won a race in this My Team Career Mode series at Jeddah yet. Only a green sector 2. Crap. But we should get the fastest lap here. And I will probably go for it again later on the hard tires once the fuel load has dropped significantly. Gotta see how we're doing on fuel as well. So let's see here. We're gonna cross the line. 3.7 seconds. So we gained nearly a second of lap time over Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez. 1:29.1. The whole lap was a 1:25.9, so that just goes to show you how much the fuel slows down the car.
We're going to box this lap and push hard on the
And we're boxing this lap. We've lost a little bit of that 4-second gap between us and Sebastian Vettel, so we're going to try and make that back here on the in lap by using all the battery. The components are pretty fresh still, so the battery lasts quite a while and regenerates quite quickly. But we need to get on this set of hard tires here and push forward to the end of this race. Try and take our first race win of the season. Get off on the right foot. Tie ourselves up with Sebastian Vettel on points. He has now created a gap between himself and Sergio Perez. He's about, I'd say, 2.3 seconds ahead at the moment, if my math is correct. The time keeps changing every time I look at it. But it's around there, so it's got a pretty cushiony gap in front of Sergio Perez. It's looking like a cyborg Porsche 1-2 for now. We are just about halfway through this race. But let's get into the pits, get this set of hard tires on, and continue this great race we've been having so far. Let's see who else comes into the pits here. I feel like Sergio Perez might dive into the pits. Is he going to try and go for the overcut? Hey man, Sebastian Vettel. We're definitely going to have a good outlap here. Let's see. No mistakes, guys. Come on. Nice. 2.5. A little slow, but no mistakes. I'll take it. Oh, Max Verstappen is out of the session again. It doesn't look like there's a safety car. I'm trying to see, where is he? Seems to be parked down near the final corner. Now, I don't know if that is a terminal failure or a mechanical one, but I will check with the race director in just a moment and let you guys know. You guys can probably see it up on the broadcast cam. I'm not fully sure what's happened to him just yet, but no safety car. The safety car would absolutely ruin our race. We got a nice cushiony gap. Sebastian Vettel is closing down on it though, so he may catch up to us by the end of the race if our paces stay the same. Seems to be on a push here. Try and win back-to-back races for the team.
Yellow flag.
Oh, we got a yellow. Max Verstappen still parked out on track. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it looks like a mechanical failure for Max Verstappen. For some reason, there's no safety car needed. That seems a little bit of an unsafe spot to park, but whatever. We continue racing on here. On to lap 17. So we're headed on to the final lap here. We have the fastest lap of this race, and Sebastian Vettel did come kind of close to, oh my god, sorry. But Sebastian Vettel came kind of close to catching up to us. I think he got up to 1.6 seconds, but we kind of just let loose and we weren't really using the battery or anything. And then once I noticed that he was really trying to catch up to us, I turned on the battery and just increased that gap. I got like 3 consecutive fastest laps in a row, and we currently hold it. So as it stands, we, Sebastian Vettel, will be tied on points, and I think that's the first time for this team where 2 drivers have been tied on points, especially in P1. That definitely hasn't happened. But Sergio Perez in P3 and the CRM5 is a absolute monster, as we have a 14-second lead over Sergio Perez, and then it would be 10 seconds for Sebastian Vettel. So we really just took this race by the balls, and we're gonna get a 1-2 here in Jeddah, and you know, it'll be double, actually, well, technically triple, back-to-back 1-2 finishes for Cyborg Porsche, back-to-back 2 in a row for this season, because there's only 2 races, obviously, so far. But if you include the last race of last season, it would be 3 in a row. But we are going to cross the line here. It's going to be a P1 with that fastest lap, unless Sebastian Vettel manages to take it right now on his final lap here. But it's a 1-2 finish. Let's go. And Sergio Perez joins us on the 3rd step of the podium. I might be speaking a little bit too early here, but it's kind of feeling like a Red Bull 2023 season for Cyborg Porsche if everything continues to move at this rate. I doubt it will stand like this, though. I'm sure things will change. You know, I struggled a little bit in Bahrain. I'm just very comfortable on the Jeddah circuit, so that's how we were able to perform so well. But once we get to tracks that I'm not too great at, or we hit wet weather, I'm sure things will definitely change for me. Even Sebastian Vettel. Max Verstappen DNFs again, which means he's pointless in the first 2 races of the season. He did DNF in the last race as well, so he's kind of getting the Sebastian Vettel treatment from last season, where I don't think Sebastian Vettel scored any points in the first 3 races of the season. But after us in Red Bull, I would say McLaren probably had the best weekend out of any of the other teams. They come in P6 and P7. Lando Norris started in P8, moved up 1 spot. Carlos Sainz started in P6, stays in P6 for the end of this race. Mercedes, on the other hand, not having too great of a race. George Russell in P5, which isn't too bad given how tight it is at the top of the grid. But Lewis Hamilton, where the heck is he? Oh, he's in P9, never mind. So he finished in the points as well, but he only gets 2 points for that P9 finish, which actually, surprisingly, puts them in P2 in this Constructors' Championship. Red Bull didn't score any points in the first race. Sergio Perez, I think he fell back. He had a few incidents, so he was also pointless. So this is Red Bull's first points up on the board, but in terms of raw pace, Red Bull is definitely the number 2 team at the moment. They just missed out on the opportunity to score points in the first race. And then in this race, Max Verstappen obviously DNFs. So it's currently Cyborg Porsche, Mercedes, and McLaren in the top 3. Mercedes might be making a step up this season, who knows? Still pretty early to tell. McLaren kind of keeping the spot of where they were at last season. And then in the Drivers' Championship, we actually take the lead by 1 point over Sebastian Vettel. Now, I know he did set the fastest lap in Bahrain when he finished the race, but now that I think about it, one of the other drivers, I don't think it was Sergio Perez. It might have been Sergio Perez. Actually, no, it wouldn't be, because he scored 15 points this race. He only has 15 points at the moment. But one of the other drivers put up the fastest lap after Sebastian Vettel did it on the final lap. So we are currently in the lead of this Drivers' Championship, which is great news. I don't think we were in the lead of the Drivers' Championship at all last season, because we had an atrocious start. And then we kind of were playing catch up from that point onwards. And the reigning champion from last season, Charles Leclerc, also not having the greatest season thus far. 2 races in, he's only got 12 points up on the board. Oscar Piastri with 5 points. So maybe Ferrari seeing a little bit of a drop in performance heading into this new season. But again, it's very early. A lot of things could change, as we've seen before in previous seasons of this series. So we just gotta wait and see. Just keep putting up good performances here. And again, try to capture the first and last Drivers' Championship before we head into F1 23. But that is going to be it for this one, guys. As always, if you've watched up to this point, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We got Australia up next as we continue on with this final season of the My Team Career Mode series. Hopefully that is a good race. Hopefully it's not raining. I'm praying that we don't catch any rain, but obviously I highly doubt that will happen, because I think at this point rain and maybe Sebastian Vettel are the only two things stopping me from winning our first Drivers' Championship. But if you guys are looking forward to the rest of the season, make sure to hit the notification bell so you guys know when the videos come out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day, guys.